All right, from another spark and another build. Charge is flowing. Titans are stirring. From the Forge Accord to the Fractured Loom. Welcome back to the official Tools and Titans podcast. I'm your host, Tulin.
And I'm Tatiana. This is episode 62, The Forces Before the Forge, Primordials Awaken in T&T.
For 61 episodes, we've talked about Titans, their trades, their tools, their cards, their corruption into the Rustborn. We've analyzed the meta, the guild wars, and the seasonal rollouts.
But today, we're talking about something else entirely. Something that was here before the first hammer was ever forged. Beings that don't just play the game, they rewrite the laws of reality itself.
But before we dive into the cosmic deep end, let's ground ourselves. For anyone new to the world of Tools and Titans, or for veterans who want a refresher, let's quickly recap what this game is all about.
Tools and Titans. Ever wonder how you launch a game with 125 unique characters and multiple factions and corrupted forms?
Well, buckle in, because this isn't a typical card game drop. The creators have built what they call a hybrid launch model, and it's all about structure, storytelling, and strategic pacing.
Most games drop a massive set of 200 or 300 cards at once. It's an explosion of content. It can be overwhelming to learn, and a huge financial hit for players.
The hybrid model is different. It's a response to that burnout. It's designed to be a slow burn, a narrative journey, not a content avalanche.
Before we get into that structure, let's cover the absolute basics. For anyone who just found us, the core turn is deceptively simple. So how do you play Tools and Titans? Easy. Draw your cards, charge your energy, build your field, act with your powers, clash with your Titans, end your turn.
6 steps. 1 epic battle. From that simple loop, a universe of strategy unfolds. And a big part of that is how the game itself unfolds over time. So how do they actually roll out all that content without overwhelming players?
They've taken a page from episodic storytelling. Every 3 months, a new release drops. Think of it like a new season in a show.
And each drop comes with 2 themed decks, a type synergy deck and a character rivalry deck. This is the core of their release philosophy.
Exactly. The synergy decks focus on a single Titan, diving deep into their elemental traits, gameplay style, and backstory. Like Verticea, for example, centered around sustainability and bioenergy regrowth. Her deck is full of cards that compost from the junkyard to generate new resources.
And the rivalry decks? They're where things get spicy, right?
Yep, these aren't just random matchups. Each rivalry pits 2 Titans with clashing philosophies, like Solaritan versus Fusure, Light and Renewal versus Corruption and Meltdown. Solaritan's cards focus on healing structures and generating reflective charge. Fusure's cards are about chain reactions and Meltdown counters that corrode the field.
Let's look at another one. The rivalry between Constructus, the fortification architect, and his corrupted self, Demolore. Constructus's deck is all about building an unbreakable field with linked structure cards. Demolore's deck introduces structural flaw tokens, turning that strength into a weakness.
So every release becomes a narrative and mechanical duel, a full-on theme-driven experience. The first 8 quarterly releases span 2 years, gradually unveiling more Titans, lore, and mechanics.
It's smart. You first learn a mechanic in the synergy deck, like Constructus's linked structure. Then you see it challenged in the rivalry deck. As Demolore exploits it, it's onboarding through conflict.
And let's talk about what's in the box, because it's more than just cards.
Each set includes that 40-card themed deck, a beautiful foil version of the main Titan card, and several alt-art variants of key cards in the deck.
But it also has lore booklets. These are in-universe documents, field notes, journal entries, blueprints. They give context to the cards you're holding. It makes the world feel tangible.
And the narrative quest cards. These are unique, Optional objectives to complete in your games? Like win a match with your workshop at full health. Completing them can unlock digital content through the included access codes, like exclusive avatars or card sleeves in the online version.
It's not just a deck, it's a mini-story arc in a box. This model caters to all kinds of players.
Absolutely. Newcomers can start simple with synergy decks. More experienced players can dive into the complex synergies and mind games in rivalry decks. Now, let's talk characters. The main stars are the 12 Tools Titans, each themed around a real-world trade with mythic industrial flair.
You have Valara, the storm-wielding electrician, Fusio, the explosive welder, and Masonix, the defensive stonemason. We've also met Drafter, the combo control architect, and Makanara, the machinist who can warp game rules themselves.
And every single one has a corrupted counterpart. That's where things get dark. They're called the Rustborn.
Each Rustborn is a twisted reflection of their original self, a philosophy pushed to its breaking point. Let's use Valara as a case study. Her goal was noble: create a perfectly stable, self-repairing power grid for everyone. Absolute order, no outages, no chaos.
But her pursuit of perfect control became an obsession. She started seeing any independent variable, any choice another Titan made, as a flaw in the system that needed to be eliminated. Her desire for stability curdled into a need for total domination.
And that's the moment she became Shivalt. Stability turned into pure, untamed chaos. Her mechanics reflect this. Voltara's cards focus on building a stable grid of energy. Shivalt's cards create arc surges that randomly damage units across the entire board, including her own.
It's not just evil for evil's sake. It's what happens when ideals go unchecked. Creation becomes destruction. Healing becomes harm.
And this duality defines their roles. Titans fall into clear archetypes: constructive, control, aggro, support, and even metawarp, like Makanara. Want a fortress deck? Go for Constructus. Prefer combo control? Try Drafter.
Every Titan is tied to an elemental weave. Fire, Vatten, Yord. And these shape not just mechanics, but the entire story. It's a living universe. It's a lot to take in. But no matter how complex the strategy gets, it always comes back to the same elegant foundation. Every Titan turn, draw, charge, building act, clash, end.
6 steps, infinite ways to forge your victory. And for 2 years, that's the world we knew. Titans versus their own reflections. A battle for the soul of the forge.
But now, something new is awakening. During the Fracture Epoch, when the weave itself began to tear at the seams, new entities started to manifest. They aren't Titans. They aren't Rustborn. They are something else.
Today we are doing a deep dive on the game's newest faction, the Primordials, also known as the Natural 13.
So let's start with the biggest question. Just who are the Primordials?
They are cosmic proto-entities. Think of them as the pre-Titanic forces of existence itself. They represent fundamental truths, physical laws, metaphysical constants. They aren't deities you worship. They are the living embodiments of principles like heat, time, gravity, light, and decay.
They are sometimes called the Natural 13, beings beyond morality, beyond corruption, and beyond repair. They weren't even designed to be playable at first. What changed?
The Fracture Epoch. As extreme weave disruptions and deep rust invasions tore at the rules of the world, it allowed what are called primordial anchors, avatar vessels or condensed aspects, to enter the battlefield as playable forces.
So what do they represent in the game's grand design?
They represent the foundational laws of the universe, the proto-weave that existed before even the Forge Accord. Unlike Titans who wield tools, the Primordials are the tool. Chronark is time, Thermodra is heat, Obscuran is shadow. Their decks aren't about a trade, they're about controlling reality at its most fundamental level.
So where do these beings even exist? Where do they dwell?
That's the thing. They don't reside in a place, they are the place, or they define it. Their echoes are found in the looming wells, those time-warped sinkholes in reality. They were sealed behind the Great Shrine of 12. Their presence reshapes the board, not just plays on it.
Which brings us to the big one. Why do they matter? What does this mean for the players and the game?
First, they offer the ultimate high-skill faction. They are incredibly hard to master, but they are dimension-breaking when you do. They also serve as the lore anchor for all other factions. For instance, Thermodra is the origin of heat, which the Titan Fusio later learned to corrupt.
And how do they actually operate? If they don't play by the rules, what do they do? Let's break down some of these unique systems.
Let's start with turn phase manipulation. This is Chronark's domain. Imagine playing a card that skips your opponent's clash phase entirely, or an effect that reverses the order of the stack, so the last card played resolves first. It's mind-bending.
Then there's Weave Core Inversion. Lucidra, the light primordial, can play a card that says, for this turn, all Fire Weave cards are treated as Water Weave cards. It completely disrupts an opponent's elemental synergies.
And Zone Overwrites are maybe the wildest. Gravum, the Gravity Primordial, can play a location that says, the opponent's resource zone and build zone are now treated as one. Suddenly, their carefully placed structures are vulnerable. They do not play the game. They redefine it.
Okay, let's get into the gameplay profile. What are the strengths and weaknesses here? Because this sounds potentially broken.
The strengths are immense. Board reshaping, as we mentioned. Extreme versatility. Many have passive mechanics that trigger automatically. And they are the ultimate meta specialists. Perfect for breaking stale strategies. If everyone is playing Fortress decks, a primordial like Gravum becomes top tier.
And the weaknesses? There have to be some.
High complexity is the main one. These are not for beginners. They have very low direct damage, so you aren't winning with brute force. Many of their most powerful effects are gated behind highly specific conditions, and they can have anti-synergy with standard cards. They break the rules for everyone, including sometimes themselves.
So who are the 13? Let's go through a few more of these cosmic forces.
We've mentioned Thermodra, Heat, and Chronark, Time. There's also Pressuron, the embodiment of pressure. His mechanics revolve around applying stress counters to cards. When a card has 3 stress counters, it's instantly destroyed in a zone implosion.
And his opposite, Vackra, the Void. Vackra doesn't destroy cards. It exiles them, removes them from the game entirely. There is no bringing them back from the junkyard. It's the ultimate anti-recursion strategy.
Let's talk about a strange one. Frictional. Friction. Frictional decks excel at lockdown. They can play stasis effects that prevent a tool or structure from being used for a turn, or momentum shift, which forces an attacking Titan to target a different enemy. It's pure disruption.
And what about their core mechanic? Primordial Ascension. How does that work in practice?
Right. Unlike Titans who level up through battle or energy, Primordials ascend when certain universal conditions are met. Exophera, the primordial of decay, might have an ascension condition like ascend if a card has remained on the field for 5 consecutive turns. Its own slow rot mechanic empowers it.
So they are not allies. They are inevitabilities. They represent the original design of the world before the Titans ever tried to order it.
Precisely. They have no moral stance. Their presence could either stabilize a collapsing game state or accelerate it into total chaos. Depending on the context, they are the ultimate cosmic wildcards.
It's a bold move, introducing a faction that fundamentally changes the core assumptions of the game. Could alienate some players, but it could also create a level of strategic depth we've never seen before. It forces every player to ask, what are the rules? Really?
And that's the beauty of it. It takes the game's central theme, ideals and their corruption, and expands it to a cosmic scale. What happens when the laws of reality themselves begin to fray? The primordials are the answer.
From the core loop to cosmic constants, the world of Tools and Titans just got infinitely bigger. It's a testament to a design that is willing to break its own creations, to build something new.
A reminder that even in a world of rules and structure, there are always deeper forces at play, and at the end of the day, it all comes back to your hands, your field, and your turn.
In every match of Tools and Titans, your tradecraft unfolds in 6 simple moves: draw, charge, building, act, clash, and
Simplicity for the novice,
mastery for the Titan.